thing done. I'm sorry if I'm too close in your face. Sabnin sub. All right, let's get this thing started. Let me get this here. We're gonna do a short thing today. I think I'll go in with yeah. All right, we're live. This is Jamil Salib Zamir out of Manning, South Carolina. Very, very serious topic today. We're not going to be too long, and I'm hoping that I can keep a very calm demeanor today because I just want to keep a very calm demeanor. So I thank y'all for tuning in on Instagram. We're also broadcasting live on Twitter, on YouTube right now, and as well as on Facebook. I'm coming through two different microphones, so my microphone may be a little clearer on Instagram. I'm actually coming through my C920 HD cam on Facebook right now. So I want y'all to tune into this broadcast. We're going to get into a lot of topics today. We're going to talk about Travis Scott. We're going to talk about Ahmaud Arbery. We're going to talk about Rick Ross. We're going to talk about getting to know Satan. And we're going to talk about the community and how we are outsourcing our resources to other people as opposed to helping each other. We're going to talk a lot today, so it's not going to take that long if you give me about 45 minutes. God willing, we will be done. This is Jamil Salib Zamir out of Manning, South Carolina. We're going to do the intro, and we'll be right back.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for tuning in to this month installment of the 19 Report. I am your host, Brother Johnny. I walked a thin line between right and wrong. Took my fears to God, then I wrote this song. The spirit kept calling, so I answered the phone. And then I manned up and got some backbone. My mind resonates at a much higher tone. Solid foundation, empire zone. 3 mountains, I'm in one. Right to left counted, 9 and then 1. Left to right, switch it, 1 and then 9. West to east, south to north, a thin line. I know Christ exists, cause his mercy allows me a chance to stand 3 on a square. Yeah, we in there. This is Brother Johnny of Groove 19 Promotions.
All right, Jamil Salib Zamir, Manning, South Carolina. That intro, that 1919 with the echo, that's Tommy Gunn from Rapid Fire Entertainment. They did a song way back when I was promoting them, and he put Groove 19, Brother John. And so I always use that 19 because I thought it was very dynamic. A shout out to Tommy and all the projects that he has going on out of Manning, South Carolina, right there out of Alcaloo. So shout out to him. Much success to him. We want to go into a lot of subjects today. I was supposed to be out of town this week, man. I needed to get out of Manning, South Carolina so bad it didn't make sense. But I went and I guess overdid it with my issues and got a little sick, went to the doctor, and now they put me on a whole nother year. I can't travel for a whole year. So I can't travel out of town because sitting and stuff may cause blood clots. So who do people like me, the people who are trying to be a little strong for everybody else, who do you talk to? When you're going through, you can't really talk to your wife or your spouse because they're around you all the time, and you can't really just say to them what you feel because you don't want to bring them down. They're in the same environment as you. So who do you talk to? You kind of hold that stuff inside, and I think I held too much of it inside, and it made me very sick. I started, my illnesses kind of accumulate in spots, and my side started hurting, so I had to go do X-rays and all this stuff. And man, it's a lot. It's a lot. But with every breath that I take, I'm grateful. And I don't want to abuse the time on this earth with foolishness. So I try to take all the time that I can by God's permission with something of value. And I try to tap into the God spirit in hopes that God's knowledge will give me something of value to share with the people. And it may not be something you use right now. Perhaps you'll use it later on, because right now we're in everything is about me stage, and the young, unfortunately, really believe that money is going to save their life. The proper place for money, it's been misplaced. So we're going to talk about a few things today. I want to start out with 2 things. Number one, when you have a local event, Manning, South Carolina, we should try to use as many local people as we can with our events. Don't hire people outside of Manning to do your events, and don't abuse the people. Don't abuse people because you think that they are less than the person you really wanted. So you call this person because this is the only person available, and you mistreat them financially, and you mistreat them in the respect level that you should give them. Like I said, everything here, unfortunately, is based on likability. So if you like the person, you treat them with respect. If you think you don't like them, you don't think you owe them any respect. My motto has always been to respect everybody, even if I don't like you. And if I can't respect you, I don't say anything to you. If I have a problem with you, I just don't say anything to you. But money is supposed to circulate through a community at least 6 times before it exits that community, which means if I have a service, you come to me. If you have a service, a mechanic service, I need my car fixed, I come to you. If you need parts, you go to preferably a Black small business, and we generate revenue that way. But unfortunately, when we get in the mindset of choosing the people that we think are good people, choosing the people that we want to give our money to, we leave out a lot of valuable resources that could be beneficial to the community. So I wanted to put that out there real quickly, how we should try to work with each other more, because it's going to get to a point where we're going to have to, we're going to need each other more. So I wanted to put that out there. And I have a problem with my memory. I didn't write a lot of this stuff down, so I might skip over some things, and I apologize for that. But memory is very difficult for me now. If you've never been through what I've been through, you don't know. Sometimes it's in your head, and the next minute something fills it in and it's gone. But I wanted to say that real quickly before we get into the subject matter. Now I want to get into the subject matter, and then we're going to close out. This is a lot of different topics, but I wanted to start out with the Travis Scott incident at Astral World. Now, my son has always been. I got my sister with me today too. I'm gonna put this on a stainless steel necklace. This is the prototype. I wanted a stainless steel frame for my sister Tiny, and I wanted a stainless steel necklace and a bracelet with her face in it. And most people can't do that, so I had to try to create a prototype. So this is my prototype, and then I'm going to change it up. We're both Geminis, for those of you who don't know. So we have a super connection. Rest in peace to her. I can't believe she left, but I know she fought hard. And that's been weighing on me very heavy because I miss her so much. We don't have to be in each other's presence. We just got to know each other is present, if that makes any sense. And it's difficult to know that she's not present. So I keep her close to my wounded heart, wounded on the outside and on the inside. And that's something you don't talk to a lot of people about. You just got to live with it, because death is a part of life. And there are some people who have not experienced death yet in their families. Grandparents are living, parents are living, so they don't know, especially the pain of a sudden death. But this lady right here kept the family together. As a Gemini, we understand both sides of a situation. She and I could talk about each other, but we could never not tell each other what we talked about. So whoever she talked to about me, she eventually comes to me and tell me. She and I could fuss and argue, and I kick out the house, and the next day she'd be right back, because we have the same kindred spirit. And this part of me is gone now forever, and it'll never be replaced. I don't have another sister who can replace Tiny, period. They don't understand me like Tiny did. They love me to death. They'll do anything for me. I ain't got no doubt about that. But it's empty without Tiny, and so I got to figure out how to deal with that. So I want to keep her close to me, very close, as close as I can, in here and in here. So I want to talk about the Astral World incident, and I want to go kind of slow today. I'm not in a rush. I just want to make it very clear, the incident. Most people were using the word lit, like the party is going to be lit, it's going to be litty, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. I didn't know much about Travis Scott. My son, he's 14 years old, and he would always tell me about Travis Scott and XXXTentacion. I hope I'm saying his name right. But they figured out something about music. They figured out the frequency of music, and they figured out how the actual words from your voice can trigger a crowd, and they figured out how to uh, use binary beats, frequency, and hertz to control crowds of people. Now, they didn't do this on their own. Of course, you have sound engineers, but when they understood the science of it and how you could bring a person down with music or bring them up, um, uh, Kanye West talked about it recently on the Drink Champs, but Kanye is gone. Kanye is as far to the left as you can go. The thing about Satan, and why I named it We Must Know Satan, is because what Satan does now is that he makes you think he's a friend. He's allowed to tell you some of the things that he's doing and reel us into his way of thinking. Because right after Kanye talked, everybody started talking about, yeah, I got a new respect for Kanye, my man Kanye. But if you're not a studier of past esoteric knowledge, if you don't understand that, and many of us don't care about it, we don't know it. So God gives some of us the ability to want to care about it. I study esoteric knowledge. I study the Kabbalah. I study magic. I study these things, not to be a magician, but to understand how a magician operates. And I've done this by God's permission for years and years and years. And it doesn't benefit me like I'm supposed to be a rich guy or have wealth or anything like that. But it gives me, it's a trial. And I'm going to read it to you how the trial works in a minute. But I want us to understand the machinations of words, of frequency, of color, because color has a frequency. Color has a wavelength. And color and thought are being utilized to control. And once you understand how these things operate, and you step outside of the realm of your being allowed to do and say a thing, then you become a target. So with Travis Scott, very grimy, always has been grimy. He stepped over a lot of people to get where he is. And the minute he got where he was, he denied who he was, just like with ASAP Rocky, I think. After they get to a certain position and start dating a Kardashian, like Kanye and many others, Eve dating the white guy, Candace Owen being married to a white man, they no longer want to be categorized as black. So they just say, I'm a person, I'm human. So now they're extracting themselves from their struggle and the people who made them successful, turning their back on that and becoming a part of the machine that keeps them going. But that machine that controls them is the same machine that could break them. So Travis Scott said it, I'm no longer black, I'm just a person. And in situations like that, once you deny who you are, you're easily controlled. The one thing about musicians, entertainers, sports figures, all of these actors, preachers, you always have to have a defect that can be manipulated. Satan goes into the mind and the hearts of the individual to find that defect. I was a part of a group called Tag Team Marketing. It's an investment group. And they're all black tag team marketing. It's an all black investment group in Atlanta. Very powerful group of people. I love the whole concept of it. But one of our meetings, economists was on the platform. And you know, they get the crowd real hype. Then the person comes on and speaks. And as he was speaking, he said, if a tornado comes through here and rip up this whole town right now, I wouldn't care because I make money. In my mind, I'm saying, why would you not care when people could be hurt, destroyed, lives could be lost? Because the bottom line was money. And then I read an article from an economist that said that each individual in the stock exchange or in entertainment or any form of broadcasting in that sense has to have a mental illness, a mental defect, because you have to be totally separated from your emotions in order to treat people that way. So you have to be apathetic. In music, in entertainment, all of these people are tested. before they are allowed to go any further. Barack Obama was selected and he was tested before he was allowed to become the president of the United States. Barack Obama became the first gay president, as what they labeled him. They labeled Clinton as the first black president, but they labeled Barack Obama as the first gay president because he pushed the gay agenda, not homosexuality, not a lesbian loving, not a woman loving a woman, a man loving a man, if that's your choice, but he pushed the LGBTQ gang affiliated idea that if you say anything against a gay person, we will cancel you. And the politicians, the preachers, the news reporters, all of them agreed that if someone is pointed out as being homophobic, we will crush them. They're a gang. Barack Obama was the start of that from a high level. Barack Obama is also considered to be the president who killed more people than any other. He ordered drone strikes that killed innocent women and children. And in fact, in a news article, he said that he became very good at killing. For me to say that because he's black, you think that I'm a bad person, but that's honest. Honesty has no place in Satan's world. Only selective ideas and selective motions that will push the people in the direction of where Satan wants to go. This is Satan's world. And Satan's desire is to take all down with him who will believe. That's all, everybody. So Travis Scott, XXXTentacion, I know I'm saying his name wrong. I apologize because I don't like to say a person's name wrong. A lot of them understood music. Travis Scott, all of his concerts have always been like a mosh pit. If you've never been to a mosh pit or a rave where they get high, jump around, people have been dying at these things forever. Justin Bieber, what do you call these three boys? They were the Jonas Brothers. People died at their concerts being trampled over. They didn't report that much. Ariana Grande or whatever just had a concert where she stopped the show, but people were being trampled. When you go to a Travis Scott show, you automatically going into a mosh pit. You know that. Before you get, it's a hype event. He started the term lit, getting lit. This thing is lit, litty. It's just a wild event. But what Satan does when you don't comply with what he wants you to do is that he uses what you love against you. Now, Travis Scott is literally borderline psychotic. Most of them are. And apathetic. You saw his little apology. I just want to say I'm sorry. You don't feel nothing from that because he doesn't feel anything. You got people around you, preachers, politicians, business people right here in Clarendon County who are apathetic. These people are borderline sociopaths. Only thing matter to them is their family and money, and they'll kill their own family if they have to. Don't matter. Very dangerous individuals. But those are the people who are allowed to succeed. And the only thing that keeps them in line is law. So when you go up against somebody like that, you got to know the law. My wife and I had to go up against some people like that. And we had to know the law, and we didn't know it. So we had to go to somebody who did. They were white people who taught us the law. Why we must know Satan? Because this is Satan's world. And you will not survive trying to be heavenly in a hell of a world without knowing Satan's next move. Why did I bring up Travis Scott? Because Travis was getting too big for his britches. He already married one of the hottest plastic women in the industry, one of the Kardashians. He ain't married her, but he's with her. White folks don't like that already. They didn't like Kanye being with Kim. They didn't like Ray J with his 10-foot long penis all up inside of Kim. and all the black men that they run through. So they break them. Lamar Odom, or whoever else they found, they break them. Now, Travis Scott is in a position where when you do an event like that, you got to have insurance. No insurance company is going to ever cover him again because insurance companies want you to pay them. They don't ever want to have to pay you. You know that. You pay house insurance, car insurance, health insurance, and the minute you need the money back, you got to fill out all this paperwork and they're running down on you. They're going to break this man. They're going to break him. And either he's going to have to wear a dress, do something feminine, kill somebody, end up being in a homosexual relationship. He's going to have to do something to break that manhood image that he portrayed to people. I got my own Astral world. I got my own venue. I promote my own events. Same thing they did to Cat Williams. Cat Williams never used industry money to promote none of his shows, and he got Emmys now. He won Emmys, but you never know about it because they don't promote it. But he puts his own money up. So when he starts to talk, they had to crush him. They couldn't kill him because he's up front. But they can always go after your money. Same thing they did to Cosby, which Cosby still has 400 million. But they're destroying R. Kelly. Same thing that Kelly did and Cosby did, Peyton Manning did. Peyton Manning used to drug women and have sex with them, but he got off scot-free. And a little white boy who just murdered 3 people or shot 3 people live on camera during the riots and sit up there, I was scared. This clown is going to get, man, look, they didn't raise millions of dollars for this guy. They're going to make their image look tough, but they're going to break us. They broke XX. They followed him from the bank to the motorcycle shop. From the motorcycle shop, they ambushed him and killed him on camera. I got a book called Descent into Slavery. In that book, it shows you how the elite, the Rothschilds, what are the rest of them, man? The Rothschilds, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, these people start world wars because wars is the only way you balance out the economy. When Americans' economy is failing, they're going to start a riot. If this Ahmaud Arbery case does not go according to plan, they're going to incite riots where you burn down the towns and the National Guard has to come in. Rockefeller is who I was thinking about. Rothschild, Rockefeller, the DuPonts, all of these people. There's no matter what level of wealth you accumulate, Satan is real. And he's not underground with red horns. Satan is in you and me. But the manifestation of Satan is the manifestation of a person who is a sociopath and apathetic. They have no emotional connection to humanity, just things. See? And so the people around you are being tested and tried and being made to fall in love with things. This is my issue with hustling. They just want things, just a bunch of things that don't amount to anything, but just so long as they got it and they can show it off, they are willing to murder more people than the police ever killed. Our people killed them in the community by selling them tainted drugs, robbery, murder, rape, prostitution. But the minute a cop does something, they don't want us to. No, you don't want you to. And if you don't know the Satan of yourself, you can always point your finger at someone else and says, that's the reason why our life is going so bad. So I want to get us acquainted with the Satan of self. I'm understanding that a lot of people, since the Locks and the Dipset did their verses and y'all saw Jadakiss, first time most of y'all ever saw him, and now y'all hearing Styles P talk about having the 180 negative and trying to accumulate the 180 positive to be a 360-degree God. But just because you robbed somebody, killed somebody, went to jail, been homeless. That don't mean you understand 180 of anything. Not the 360 circle is 100 knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's 120 knowledge, 120 wisdom, and 120 understanding. I think that's right. 3. Yes. That's the way it has to be. So until we get the proper understanding of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and how they relate to our life and who we are and what the world is and where the world is going, why the world was created, who God is, what God is, who Satan is, what Satan's purpose is, you have not elevated. Elevating to 33 degrees in masonry is something that takes a lifetime. It's in coordination with the vertebrae in your back, the 33 vertebrae in your back. It's an elevate. You're going from your sphincter all the way down from your spine all the way up to your head. You have to enlighten each level. You have to become enlightened. And if you've done things in life and have not been enlightened by it, then you don't have knowledge of it. And most of us don't get enlightened by what we do. We just do it, suffer the consequences, and sometimes go right back to doing it. So that's not knowledge. You don't have wisdom. You don't have understanding. You grasp what I'm saying? So we go through a cyclical motion of life. And just the other day I was walking when I was told I couldn't travel. I got highly depressed and I realized, Allah, I'm still a slave in my own mind. I'm boxed in. In my home, I'm boxed in because I feel like I'm talking to myself, like nobody understands me, but I got to keep going. In my community, I'm boxed in. In South Carolina, I'm boxed in. In the world, I'm boxed in. I'm still a slave. Now, I said that on Instagram, and some lady said, how old are you? You need to stop saying you're a slave. I didn't even want to respond to it, but I did. Because somebody lets you out to another level of something doesn't mean you're free. And that's what our young boys think, because they were broke and they made some money off of drugs. They think they're free. You're just in another level of slavery and you're still controlled. Some of us think that because we have a business, we're free. Because I got a bigger house, I'm free. You're just at another level. And eventually you will hit the glass ceiling of that level and you will realize I'm still a slave. Not to some white man with a whip, but a slave to desires and a slave to the world that was created for us to become a slave in. Once Adam and Eve, the quote unquote mythical Adam and Eve, were cast out of the Garden of Eden, everything that we did was in a box from that point. And all the way to the book of Revelations, they never got back to the Garden of Eden. So we're still in that box. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Travis thought that he was a free man. Now he's getting checked. And immediately they went after his what? Money. He's not the coordinator of the event. He's just the artist. He don't set up the insurance. He don't set up the security. He's just the artist. But he's liable now. So they can strip his bank account for the next 30 years. Every dime he makes, somebody could get that money. You young boys got 100,000, 200,000. That's nothing. When they're ready to grab you and snatch you up, lawyer fees will take that. All right, let's move on. I want to read something for you real quickly. I want you to understand how Satan works real quick. We're going to go to, and this is a biblical text. See if I can get it up here. Yeah. Okay. We're coming out of the book of Job, chapter 1, verses 6 to 10. And I'm going to read it real quickly. But this is the thing. This is where we make our biggest mistakes. Because entertainment distracts you. Entertainment distracts you. That was my problem with The Harder They Fall, because, you know, the image of Stagecoach Mary on The Harder They Fall is some over-sexual, over-masculine Looked like she works in a brothel, gunner. But Stagecoach Mary worked for the post office. And the real Stagecoach Mary. And she protected the trains from being robbed by bandits. The real Stagecoach Mary. And she took her job seriously until, as a Black woman, she was relieved of her job because she was Black. But that's not the way the story was told. And see, when we get excited about things, we don't care about the reality of it. So if you can give me a false narrative of something that'll make me feel good, I'll take that. The Bible talks about that. By the way, I had another part to do with our father, the devil. I'm going to do that probably next week sometime. And I'm going to talk about what I just talked about that thought just left my mind just that quick, about it'll come back to me, God willing. But I want to read this to you real quick out of Job 6-11. Why we should get acquainted with the devil, because the devil is right among us, within us, on us, beside us, behind us. And many of you now on Facebook, you're brokenhearted because you're losing these friends you thought you had all your life. You fought with them, you went to jail with them, you ain't snitched on them, but you're finding out their true self because you didn't look for the devil. And I tried to explain that to us on many occasions by Allah's permission. As nice as a person is, they're just that mean. As slick as a person is, they're just that kind. There's always, the pendulum always swings with my children or whoever. I know as sweet and kind as a preacher is, they just as grimy. There ain't no preacher that ain't look at no pornography. There ain't no female preacher who goes around all her life and don't touch her coochie if she ain't got no man. You can portray it any way you want to portray it. There ain't none. Everybody got another side to themselves, including myself. And I present that to you so you understand that this is real. That's why I put up the video of me toasting with my father-in-law and taking a little sip. I don't drink, but I always take a drink with him. I smoke cigars. I take 2 or 3 puffs every now and then, but I'm not a smoker. I can't. I never did. But I want you to see the human side, because some people will come back and say, yeah, I saw that nigga. That nigga was drinking. So I put it right there for you to see. But some of you only put your best foot forward. You know, like you're always posting up when your child get good grades and doing good in school, but you don't put up when they're doing stupid stuff. Like they this perfect child. Me and my perfect child. Next thing you know, they're in the newspaper for killing somebody. That's the reality of life. There's another side, and if there is a good side, there is a bad side just as bad. That is the number line in mathematics. The 0 in the middle, the positive goes to the right, the negative goes to the left, but there's a positive 1 and a negative 1, a positive 2, a negative 2. As far as good will go, bad can go. That is understanding Satan. That way you will be able to understand how to forgive your friends when they make mistakes, because they will make mistakes. They will get soft and come knocking on your door knowing you ain't home trying to get with your wife. They will do that. Is it right? You know it ain't right. But we have to prevent these situations by not allowing them to present themselves. So you must know Satan. That is a part of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When you talk about 180 knowledge, you got to know Satan in that. 180 wisdom, you got to know Satan in that. 180 understanding, you got to know Satan in that. Newsflash just came over my phone about the 9-year-old boy at the Astral World event with Travis Scott. I have no clue why someone would allow a 9-year-old child to go to an Astral World event knowing that it's a mosh pit. You're talking about thrash music. You're talking about just crashing out, drugs galore. Why would a 9-year-old child even be there? See, all of this stuff is it's too coincidental. They shouldn't have even allowed a 9-year-old to be. If you're not 18 or over, you shouldn't even be at a Travis Scott concert if you don't have proper common sense. All right. I'm not justifying what went on, but I'm telling you that man was on stage. I don't know him. He ain't no friend of mine, so I ain't defending him like that. You understand what I'm saying? But when you start yelling at him something, he think it's a part of the party because he gonna make you crash out. He understands frequency. If you listen to XXX music, he started out rapping that gang stuff. Then he changed the frequency because he understood it. And when he changed the frequency and started talking about positive stuff and government and this, dead. Same thing with Travis Scott. He understood frequency, kind of left rap music and opened up Astral World and started doing concerts, because when you do concerts, you get all your money as opposed to a percentage off of a record sale. So they're going to have him locked up, or they're going to have him with a dress on or something. He already done got with the white chick trying to prove he was neutral. And God willing, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But let's get to this right here. Job chapter 1. And keep in mind that we are Job. The Bible is a book that talks to us about us. But our ministers are teaching the book like back in the day when Job was alive. You're Job. I'm Job. We are alive. Past, present, future. That's the book. The book is past, present, future. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Okay. Let's go. Job 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Now you got the sons of God, the righteous, and Satan right in the midst with them, but they don't recognize Satan because they're saying, I'm so righteous and I just want to be good and do jolly things and be a jolly person. That Satan can come in your house, Satan can come in your mind, Satan can poison your heart, your thinking, everything, because you're not looking for Satan. And Satan is like a cancer cell, like I spoke before. You let them accumulate, they're all around. But once they begin to accumulate and they say wonder twin powers, activate, form of a gang, shape of a AK. And now the gangs are tearing your communities apart. You allowed it because you didn't see Satan coming through the door. And now there was a day, 6, when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. Same thing with politicians. Same thing with preachers and these business people who come to your community to take black dollars and go back up to their house on the hill and talk about you and treat you like garbage. I don't care if they're black or white. They're not with us. Tyler Perry built his whole life on the back of black dollars. Oprah Winfrey built her whole life on the back of black dollars. She was a nobody at a fat camp. She was put on the show and went to Forsyth County, Georgia to talk with the Ku Klux Klan about black and white relations, and she became a superstar. Then The Color Purple and other shows came about. Same thing with Tyler Perry. Same thing with most of the people. They come to the black community when they ass out. They come back, and we embrace them and give them dollars, and when they get dollars, they leave us. And we allow them to come in because we are like little prostitutes, you know? We just want to be seen. Yeah, this is my man right here. He ain't your man. He don't know you. He just wants your money. Strippers come here, take all of our money. Y'all be bragging, yeah, we throw the money out to the strippers. They took your money. You like little prostitutes. Because you don't see Satan. And you don't know you're dealing with apathetic. Listen, an apathetic sociopathic woman will let you put your finger all the way up in her. She could care less. Long as you're going to put the dollars on the table. And the only successful people in the world are people with mental defects. You got to have a sickness about you that they can control and extort. And once they can no longer control it, they will allow it to destroy you. R. Kelly was molested as a child. He already had a problem. Six. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Listen, Satan right with the sons of God. They don't even know it because we get distracted with fun. We love fun. We love foolishness. We think that we're relieving stress, but what you're doing is prolonging a process and giving Satan more time to build up his army. I'm going to say that again. The more you don't respond to an issue, you're giving Satan longer to destroy us. If you got a pain in your side and I'm going to the doctor, I'm going to the doctor. A year later, I'm going to the doctor. 2 years later, you go to the doctor. Oh, stage 4 cancer. You could have had the problem dealt with when it started. I got a pain in my side the other day and immediately I went to the doctor. But if you allow it to continue, what you think gonna happen? You ignored Satan. Satan will not stop. That is the story of Pharaoh in the Bible. No matter what God took from Pharaoh, he did not stop. You cannot negotiate with Satan. You cannot love Satan and act like you friends with Satan because you're scared of him. He's going to kill us anyway, and he's killing us anyway. This is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You're not going to get this from your preachers now. I ain't coming down on them, but they have not studied the book in this way, and the book has not been revealed to them in this way. They know it. They have a job to do. Their job is to excite you into the knowledge of God. But you got to go further after that. You got to surpass them. My son called me the other day with some ideas, what he's doing with our graphics and stuff. And I'm like, hey, you're supposed to surpass me. You're supposed to add something on to what I've attempted to do. That's growth. Will I ever get to read this thing? Job. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence cometh thou? The Lord noticed Satan, but the people who claim to be of God didn't even see him. And Satan answers God. It says, then Satan answered the Lord and said, oh, there's a difference between God and the Lord. What you mean? See them particulars right there? That's what get us all mucked up. You know exactly what the book is talking about. But we do that. Well, the Lord, and what God are you talking about? Nigga, if they say Satan, what's the opposite of Satan? Satan? The book says when Satan casts out Satan, you know trouble on the horizon. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence cometh thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Why is Satan walking up and down, going to and fro in the earth? And what is the macrocosm, the microcosm of the earth? I've explained it before. Our skin is the vegetation of the earth. That's why they say ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Our bones, the stones of the earth. And our blood, 70% of our body, the blood is the water of the earth. Where is Satan walking? From our head to our toes. Walking up and down, looking for a weakness in the anatomy of God so that he can manipulate that weakness and control the minds of that individual. Where is Satan walking in the macrocosm? All around the earth, looking for a place to set up shop so that he can take control of the people by making them think you're going to have a good time with the devil. And look at what God does, because he tired of us too. The Lord said unto Satan, whence cometh thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, going to and fro in the earth, from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job? You mean to tell me God is going to offer up the people to Satan to test them? You mean to tell me all these people who talking about they saved and sanctified in the church, shouting and jumping around, you mean to tell me they go home and smoke weed? Yes. They cheat on their husband and wife? Yes. They in lesbian and LGBTQ relationships? Yes. Yes. They hide it, but yes. They drink, they masturbate, they think about ungodly things, they hate, they steal. Oh, I don't steal now. Okay. You on disability, you say you can't walk. But I see you walking every day. But when you go to the disability board, you in a wheelchair. You stealing. But that's the game. I ain't gonna hate on you, and I sure wouldn't tell. But let's call a spade then. And then the Lord says unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job? I'm going to turn these people over to you because they really think that they're so holy and so righteous that they're the ones that keep themselves afloat. So I'm going to let you rip them apart for a little while until they start calling on me from their soul. And the Lord says, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect man, an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side, that thou hast blessed the works of his hand and his substance increased in the land? But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. Satan says, if you take away his stuff, he'll curse you. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, this is for us now. All that he hath is in thine power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. All right. I'm saying this for all of the young people out there who think you got life together because you got a little hustle going, got a little business going, got a little something going. It's test time. It's test time. And test time is going to be very difficult for many of us. And we're going to see what we're made of. That's the Travis Scott incident. That's what's happening, man. It's test time for him. It was test time for Cosby. Cosby kept it cool. R. Kelly panicked a little bit, said he was going to start telling, but I don't think he's going to tell nothing. He just scared. He just can't believe he's alone. When I was hustling, everybody loved Jamil. Baby Boy. I was Baby Boy then, the original Baby Boy before Tyrese, before the movie. When I was hustling, they loved me. But the minute they found out I wasn't doing that no more, they left me. And I panicked. Some of you had friends most of your life and you thought they were your friends, but you finding out they never even like you. And I'm telling you today, you're going to find out more of them don't even like you. We talking today now. Why we got to know Satan? Because you got to be able to forgive a lot. You got to be able to take a lot. So I took a lot from a lot of people. And you think that that's a weakness, but you got to. My mother told me, don't kill him. Because if you kill him, and my mother, rest her soul, said had the gut. If you kill it, all it's going to do is manifest into something else. Figure out what the hell it is. All right. Ahmaud Arbery. Let's go into that. We got a few more things and we're going to close. The Ahmaud Arbery case, of course, is on Court TV. You can watch it. They started out the gate with 11 jurors, it's only 12 jurors. They came in with 11 of them white. 11 white jurors, 1 black juror. A corrupt DA who them 3 criminals, when they murdered Ahmaud Arbery, they called her and she tried to fix the books to where they wouldn't have to go to jail. She was found out. I'm telling you how Satan works. I'm telling you the satanic system that is wrapped around humanity that we will never get out of. And the only thing that will keep us at a safe distance from it is our connection to God and the law. And the one thing that Satan wants you to do is not rely on, I'm not talking about police so much, I'm talking about laws written on the books. Because your toughest gangster, from the great Larry Hoover to you name them, Jeff Fort, all of these were taken down by what? Law. And they were taken to prison and are still locked up because of what? Law. So you can be on demon time, but you can't beat Satan. We got to understand how to beat Satan. And you can't understand how to beat Satan unless you know what Satan is. And nobody wants to teach you about Satan because they love Satan. 11 jurors, corrupt DA, a racist county. What county is that? Oh my goodness, I forgot the name of the county. Can't remember. And then you got an attorney. Now, several people are videoed walking through that house on that property. White, black couples done been in there screwing in the house. Ahmad goes, he gets gunned down. They set him up, and the cracker gonna videotape it like he's innocent with his little puppy dog eyes, and he's the main devil who blocking them off from running in a certain direction. And this is how Satan, let me tell you about Satan. Satan plays both sides of a thing. He talks good about it, but then in the good, he destroys it. He changes your opinion about it. He's very, very crafty. Like in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, where he says, he ain't say God was a bad dude. He just said, well, God just don't want you to be like him. He know everything, and he don't want you to know all that stuff. That's all. Very crafty. It's like a person who knows what you about, but tries you anyway. Tries to see if you about that life. That's why I tell you, I ain't about that life. I protect my family. I'm not going to go out here like I'm some stone killer, OG gangster killer, murderer, killing my people for what? You ain't getting nothing out of it but a jail sentence. So the crooked attorney says, we don't want these civil rights leaders in the courtroom because they're influencing the jury. So he's up there arguing that Al Sharpton and Reverend Jesse Jackson shouldn't be allowed to be in the courtroom because they're going to influence the jury. Negro, you done had a corrupt DA, 11 white jurors in a corrupt town. Now you're going to come with some moral standard of we don't want corruption. And then you got an incompetent judge who is way over his prime, an old racist, an old bigot, who's trying his best to present himself as just, as blind, only the facts, ma'am. Right before you're in my eyes, they can make a thing happen like magic. And after that, all we can do is go and tear up our towns and cities. And that is the plan. To execute more laws, to criminalize more people. They don't want to criminalize sociopaths, murderers, and gangsters. They're going to let them free. They want them out. That's why all of them are getting bond. Murderers, triple murders, they're getting bond. The judges, the corrupt system, and the goddamn bail bondsmen who have no connection to nothing but a dollar. They will bail out anybody. They have no moral connection to nothing. That's the system we're in. So now you got to, when Ahmaud Arbery was murdered, y'all was all on Facebook, Maud. Now that the case is going on, y'all ain't nowhere to be found. You don't start no petitions. You don't do nothing. Sports is happening now. Y'all are sidetracked. The weakest minded people on the planet is us. A party. Tucker. If we would stand together and fight Satan, we would beat him and run him away. Islam taught us when you see the devil, you confront him. You call him out. Islam teaches us that we get rewards in heaven for taking the neck straight off the devil. Disconnect his neck from his spine. How do you do it? By proving his lies. But instead of you getting angry with Satan, you get mad at the messenger. And that's what happened to Christ. Christ was murdered because the same people that he helped got angry at him because he said, no, don't be gay. No, don't party. No, don't smoke weed. Kill Christ. Kill that nigga. He's stopping the party. Then you resurrect Christ and made him opposite of what he came to be. So they're going to resurrect Travis Scott and make him what they want him to be. Resurrect Kanye. Resurrect Cosby. Resurrect R. Kelly, resurrect Gucci Mane, resurrect Boosie. They resurrect all of them, Fulio, and made them what they want them to be. Yeah, you can go to your neighborhood. We will leave the guns there. I'm going to tell you where he's going to be. Y'all can kill him and get off scot-free, and you can brag about it. This is where we are. Little 9, 8, 9-year-old gangster killers going to be out here gunning for people like myself. Kill them. We can't keep them talking, so let's just make it look like an accident. And you know what y'all going to do? Yeah, that nigga Keith was a real one, man. Man, I hope the law find him, man. Look, man, I'm tired of it, man. Because that's what y'all do. That's what you do. Y'all tear the internet up on them keys talking shit. I ain't no gangster. But I know that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. I know that. The shortest distance. I ain't going to go all the way around the block, up the hill, and over the valley-way if I'm after somebody. I'm going to sit and watch him. Okay, you go to the store. Okay, you go there. You go there. He passed by me, didn't even see me. I could walk up right behind him right now, and I could get him. Shortest distance between 2 points. I ain't got to kill nobody but him. What's so difficult about that? But y'all will be talking 2 years from now. Yeah, we're going to get that nigga. How long? Because I talked to a guy about noise, you know. I said, man, that noise don't bother you? Man, no, because see, I look at it like this, you know what I'm saying? You see, you know what I'm saying? He don't bother me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but what about your children, man? I mean, they're right. I could hear it all the way down. No, because we justify everything but if it was me, no Satan, okay? Satan is not just someone who boastfully does things with aggression. Satan is someone who cowers. Satan is a coward. Satan don't want to die. He wants someone else to die so that he can live. Satan don't want to go to jail. He wants someone else to go to jail so he can be free. That's why hustlers become I wanted to be the top tier of the hustle. I wanted to be the weight man. Y'all go to jail on that street level. I ain't going. They're gonna take them a while to get me because I'm quiet and I'm sitting over here and I ain't touching nothing. I just direct the traffic. Let's move on. The Ahmaud Arbery case. Now, I talked to you about how Satan chooses people. Satan chose this guy. Y'all love him. Forgive me, but I talked about him before. And I ain't got no ties with him or who he run with. I'm just talking factual about the one they call Rick Rose, who deliberately took the name of Rick Ross, the hustler, and utilized that persona to build his image. Now, he's not a bad wordsmith, and his voice is strong, and he really raps over lyrics well. All he talks about is guns and drugs and money, Maybach, this, that, the other thing. Just the other day, and this is in relations to Ahmaud Arbery and George Zimmerman. You must know Satan. Just the other day, they posting up like this is a big thing, and y'all jumping on board with it. Rick Ross buys $1 million home just so he can drive by it. See, y'all think that's great. I think that's one of the dumbest things that a person could ever do. But we're so caught up in the world of things. Why wouldn't he take that $1 million and promote promotions for Ahmaud Arbery's case? Get the parents a bus to ride on, a nice place to stay, promotion so that we can keep an eye on what this crooked system is doing to try and railroad this family. The mother is going through, she watched her child be murdered on video. And he says he's buying $1 million home so he can drive past it. What about the young people who can't get off the ground, educated young black men and women who need money for college, who can't get the loans, who can't get the grants? What about the communities that are down, that need some guidance? What about the abused and the neglected? What about the drug addicts? When white folks have a drug problem, they open up methadone clinics. What about that? Well, Rick, he do things. Yeah, but in private. Listen, people always sending me messages in Messenger, but they don't defend me on Facebook. White folks do what they're going to do for the world to see. The elite do what they're going to do for the world to see. Because that can alter the thinking of an individual. When you see somebody trying to do something, it may make you want to jump on board and do it too. But Satan's job is to keep us fascinated with things that we will never get. And when we buy them without the knowledge of, well, if I buy this car, I got to keep it running. That's going to take more money out of my pocket eventually. Then we got a bunch of cars in the yard, broken cars, got a yard full of cars, a yard full of mess. And you going on to the next thing. Ross and the rap world should be supporting this Ahmaud Arbery case. They should be supporting Ahmaud's mom and his family financially, and maybe they are, and that's good. But damn, put on a shirt or something. Kaepernick put on a Black Lives Matter shirt, even though that was an elite thing to turn half of the black folks against their own people. Same thing as the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement was backed by homosexuals. Can't remember his name. Right on the tip of my tongue. I apologize. Bayard Rustin. Thank you, Allah. Bayard Rustin, a known open black homosexual, literally wrote the speech for Dr. King, literally put together the march with mostly white, gay, and lesbian men and women. That's why it was so many of them on the lawn, because they knew that later on the same rights that we were fighting for, human rights, civil liberties, they would be able to take advantage of them, and they're doing that now. That's how Satan operates. Satan plays the long game. The long game. So when Nipsey Hussle started talking about the long game, and he changed the name of the long game to a marathon, he was dangerous after that. Run the marathon. Run it. Y'all are playing the short game. Short game. And technically, you don't have anything that you can take to consume and keep for the next generation. Taxes will take that. We're almost done. Not supporting the case. All of this is Satan. You got to know him. How did they control the music industry and all the people in the industry? By giving them black cards, credit cards. They can't use cash. You see all of that stuff they be carrying, all that that's fake money. Kodak Black said that be prop money. When he said that, he overstepped his bounds and they ran down on his behind, and they still running down on him. That's prop money. Many of you found that out. So y'all start going to, Wish, and ordering prop money and actually spending it in the store. That's your new scam. Prop money. But they're giving a black card, and each dime on that card got to be accounted for. Where did you spend $1 million at, Ross? Oh, I bought a house. I just bought a house. I ain't did nothing, sir. Oh, all right. Be careful, Ross. We got our eyes on you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, boss. I'm a G. I don't need nobody. I'm a gangster. I got money. I got stacks. Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir. That's the way the game is played. And if you don't understand the game, then you don't understand Satan. But Rick Ross, all of the people that we lord over are all controlled by that black card. When Wesley Snipes did Tu Wong Fu, when this black belt martial artist that I looked up to, a hardcore gangster killer, put on a dress and played a drag queen, he thought he was in there. So he decided he's going to go buy an island for black folks, and the IRS snatched his behind up, put him in prison. Now he's trying to come back because now he's working with Kevin Hart, who is a known elitist. But you got to use the black card. They got to know where every dime. 50 Cent was bankrupt, broke as a joke. 50 Cent is making a living off of killing young people with all these BMF and GOAT. He's promoting death. So they're using his name like they used Jay-Z for the baseball team or basketball teams. He's getting paid off of his name. He ain't no rapper no more. Just his name. That's what they're going to do to Travis. That's what they did to Yeezy, making them moon shoes. The best thing Yeezy got going is that darn all-terrain vehicle. And ain't no telling how good that is. So they give them a black card. Every dime is accounted for. So they can't even support their own people. Can't help them. Can't help them. All true. And local people can't wait to be a part of that elite society. In Manning, everybody want to be down with the person who they think is somebody. I've never been impressed with people like that. Thank Almighty God Allah. That's what happened to Alpo in New York. I don't know him. I'm not talking about him like that. I'm just telling you what it is. He overstepped his bounds. Alpo was a construction worker in upstate New York. He wasn't even supposed to be in Harlem. But he didn't report in. Hey, can I go to Harlem? See, gangster mindset is I'm a gangster always. Nobody gonna tell me what to do. But being on demon time and being Satan, Satan trumps demon. You gotta know who the devil is, man. You violate it and you die. So once they know they've been blackballed, like you're out, we're not going to give you another chance and that death is imminent, then they start trying to tell a little bit of truth before their time comes. It happened to Prodigy, happened to Prince, happened to Michael, happened to Whitney, happened to R. Kelly, happened to Sam Cooke, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, it happened to Tupac, happened to Biggie, happened to Pimp C, and many others were warned. Some heeded the warning, some didn't. The ones who don't die. You must know who Satan is because he's getting ready to up the game because the one place that everybody wants to control is the South. And I'm talking about where we are. I ain't talking about Tennessee and Texas. They got Texas. They got it. And Travis Scott is in Texas or Houston, Texas or something like that. You know what I mean? They locking that in. I'm talking about right here in these little country backwater towns. Once they get this, it's over. The only way to get out of this contract most of the time is to throw someone under the bus that you love. You saw it with Kanye, with Jennifer Hudson, and many others. I ain't saying how it happened or why it happened. I'm just telling you. And young people today are doing it. You're turning your back. You know, all these young folks that are dying in South Carolina are being set up by their friends. They're being pulled out of the house by people they know. So they don't come outside prepared to kill. They come outside thinking, this is my buddy. This is my partner. I don't need no gun when I'm with my partner. And then they bam, 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 bam. Yes. Your friends are luring you to your death as a trial to be a part of Satan's army. Because I told you, as long as we left the door open for the cancer to come in, these killers from Chicago and other Houston and Detroit and Philly, they were coming. They're here. And they're going to require that you kill something that you love. The street requires that you are able to leave something that you love in no amount of time. And if you can't do that, then you are of no use to the street. So they will give you a taste of the good life. Then they will test you. I never take the advance. I never took the advance on 3 occasions. I don't want it. I don't want it. Because you're not going to lock me into nothing. We're closing. The most heartless way to escape being murdered for taking a blood oath is to agree to lead the entire generation into death. And that's what people like 50 Cent, Jay-Z did it too. Nas did it too. Mobb Deep, even KRS-One, and many of them who promoted that pimp lifestyle, Big Daddy Kane, the rappers that we love, they did it too. Will Smith did it too, with 6 degrees of separation, with homosexuality and murder. They come back and try to do something nice because that's how Satan operates. We did it too. I'll tell anybody, I carried guns all the time and we would shoot them up in the air at the club. But by starting that, they started leveling the guns out and killing people. We are part of that problem. So like Prince, like Prodigy, and like many others who try XXX Extension, and even Travis Scott tried to change some of the things, there was no turning back for them. So if you want to understand 180 degrees negative and 180 degrees positive, you got to understand religious literature. You got to understand your own mind. You got to understand universal law. You got to understand Satan. You got to understand God. It ain't got a darn thing to do with who you robbed and who you killed and hanging out on the street. You ain't learned nothing from none of that. You got to lose all your friends. You got to lose all your associates. You got to go through hell in order to understand knowledge, to get 360 degrees of knowledge. You got to go by yourself. That's why the Bible says, yea, though I walk through the valley and shadow of death, I fear no evil because thou art with me. You got to go by yourself. Nobody walks with you through your trials, young men, young women. And if you refuse to go through the trial, then you will watch your children suffer, you going through your trials for you, and they're going to fail. But you think now because you got a couple of dollars to put on the books and give them more than you had that you're going to buy them. You only making them a bigger devil. I don't want to hurt your heart. Police, preachers, politicians, many of them have covenant with Satan. You seeing now all of these correctional officers and stuff, they sneaking the drugs and stuff into the prisons. The police are the ones bringing the guns in the community. The preachers preaching the word of God on Sunday and selling drugs Sunday afternoon. Got a whole squad of brothers. Because the dollar is what matters. And the dollar is what keep things running. That's why I tell people around me, you ain't never going to stop selling drugs once you build something with drug money. Because you'll never make that money as a clean individual trying to make a dollar. Never. All right. I think that's it. I want to read this and then we're going to close. Our children love rebellion because we loved it. I'm closing. Most of us had children at 15, 16, 17. Now these children are representatives of Satan. They have no connections to their past at all because we hid them from their past. Somebody fooled you into hiding your past. Do you know that people in Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma don't even know that ever happened because they didn't tell the children about it? How can a person think a thought that will change an action if they don't even know what happened in the past? Now these children representatives of Satan. They have no connection whatsoever to their past and they could care less about it. They want to control their parents and they are succeeding at it. And if you reject them, they go claim new parents. They claim new grandparents. They claim new sisters, new brothers. All the time. This is my sister. This is my brother. This is my mama. This is my grandmama. Since when? Where were they when you've been in diapers? They didn't come about until you could do something for them. Since when? So I'm praying that all of you hardcore niggas, that your children eat your behind up. I really do pray it because you got to get it because you think for some reason that you did something great. You were supposed to be great. Your time is coming. Jesus talked about it. Check this out in the Bible, Matthew 12, 46 through 50. This is the New International Version. We about to close. Jesus and his mother. Jesus' mother and his brother. I'm going to say that again. Jesus had a brother. Jesus' mother and his brother. Jesus had a brother. Check this out. While Jesus, 46 and 48 through 48. Check it out. 46 through 50. 12, Matthew 12, 46 through 50. While Jesus was still talking to the crowd, his mother and brother stood outside waiting to speak to him. Someone told him, your mother and brothers are standing outside wanting to speak to you. He replied to them, who is my mother and who are my brothers? Pointing to his disciples, he said, here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sisters and mother. Whoever is with God is with me, is my family. Other than that, I don't know him. But I wanted to point out that they pointed out that Jesus had a mother. Jesus had brothers. All right. Be careful what you pledge your allegiance to in closing. What you share or don't share, what you represent, be careful because your actions cause an equal and opposite reaction. And no matter what we do, that must manifest itself so that we can see what happened based on what we did. The only problem is that apathetic and lack of concern causes us not to see. And if we're blessed to see, then we're labeled, ostracized, canceled, blackballed. Man in blackballed me long time ago. They chose someone who could care less about the future of the people, the future of the town. They could care less. I took the pictures for most of the events around here, besides Sam Levy. Sam Levy, rest his soul, even called me to do video work because he couldn't do it the way I could do it at the time. But because I hanged around people who had an alternative lifestyle, they wanted me to be like them. You got to have another woman. You got to be cheating. You got to be a lesbian. You got to be gay. You got to smoke weed. You got to drink liquor or you can't hang with us. But I ain't never told on nobody. I ain't never revealed nothing. And if I put anything on video, I deleted it. None of y'all got in no trouble because of none of the events I did or got outed because of something me and my wife did. I played by the rules. But if you're not willing to do what they do and they got something to hold over your head, then you can't be a part of it. So like I'm telling you, you got to have some type of mental illness to be down. But that's going to have to change. I took no pledges. I ain't joined no cliques. I told you I was a part of Temple number 99, but I ousted out. I got out. I turned the lights on and I turned the lights off upstairs in the lodge. I turned the lights on and I turned the lights off upstairs in the lodge. I fear Allah, the God who revealed himself to me. I fear God. I don't tell God what he's going to do to me, for me, or what's going to happen. I beg God, please help me understand. I don't have no authority over God. That's what Satan wants you to think. And that's what church tell you. I tell God, he better get it right this time. And God, I ain't telling God nothing. I beg all the time. And I thank him for the mercy that he gives. Closing. Jeremiah 14:14, the King James Version of the Bible, and Isaiah. Jeremiah, King James Bible. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets, Jeremiah 14:14, talking about how the people want to think. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divinations and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their hearts. I'm going to say it again. The Lord said unto me, talking to us, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. The Lord talking to Jeremiah. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you false visions and divinations and a thing of naught and the deceit of their heart. And why did they do it? Let's go to Isaiah. See, prophets and messengers, it's the books. It's Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. All of them told the same story over and over again to try to get the people to see the reality of what was happening. Now let's go to Isaiah 30, 8 through 10, and then we're going to close. Of the King James Bible. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, what are the children saying to the pastors? What are the children saying to those who claim to be in a position to help them? The children are saying, we will not listen to you unless you do it a certain way. So that this is a rebellious people, lying children, and not just talking about children in age, but child-minded adults that will not hear the law of the Lord. That's why they're running up and down in the church, hooping, hollering, flipping over, spitting, cussing, doing splits, dancing, bouncing, kicking, doing the booty bump, but not changing a thing about themselves. They have no intentions on changing, none whatsoever. Isaiah 38 through 10, 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, listen to what they tell them, see not, don't see nothing, we don't want to hear it. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. And the majority of your pastors will not tell you the truth, they will tell you smooth things. They will tell you lies. They will tell you, hey, it's all right if you do this, it's all right if you do that. Listen, come to church just as you are, gay, lesbian, and everything else. And even if you die gay and lesbian, come with the intentions of seeing the reality of what's right and what's wrong. I ain't the best person in the world, but I come to religion, to law, trying to see what's right and what's wrong. I might not never stop doing what I'm doing, but I can at least acknowledge that I'm wrong and that it must change. And I will do as much as I can in my power to see to it that the next generation does not have to deal with my karmatic debt, with my karma debt. I thank you all for tuning in. This is Jamil Salibs and me out of Manning, South Carolina. Remember what I said to you about Travis, about Kanye, about Rick Ross, about the people who flash money all up in your face and got all the cars and the houses and everything. What are they doing for the community? Stop supporting them. I'm not talking about them helping another hustler become a better hustler. I'm talking about when myself, people like myself, Dale Castro and many others get up and try to do something. Why y'all won't put no money on the book, man? I'm talking about to my children and everybody else. Why not put, now my son, I don't like to even say his name. I don't want to get associated, but a couple of my sons are always in the mix with me and they'll help any way they possibly can. And I appreciate that because I need it. Anytime I call them, they right there. I don't want to associate it. You know what I mean? If you see us together, you just see us. But they help. But Cash App is right there. I got it up on the board right now. I ain't buying no Cadillac. I drive a 98 Dodge Shadow that my wife loaned me. I don't even have a car. When you see me driving cars, they her cars. They ours because we're a couple and all of our stuff is together, but they're hers. I ain't never been in a lack for anything. If I wanted it, somebody would let me use it or give it to me. But this thing about Satan, we must know. 180 degrees of knowledge, 180 degrees of wisdom, 180 degrees of understanding. You must have it. You must have the negative side and the positive side of God and devil. God is the opposite of devil, and devil is the opposite of God, and that's all it is. And when you understand that as good as God is, Satan is just as bad. And that as good as God is, he has to allow bad things to happen. Why my child? It had to happen. And I ain't trying to be light on that because that's a difficult thing to deal with. But we want to try to get the rhythm so well in tune that these things don't have to happen anymore. Because children don't understand what they put their parents through. They really don't. I understood that. When I saw my mother breaking down every time my brother went to jail, I said, I can't put my mother through that. I'm not going to get in trouble like that. When I failed in the 10th grade, I hid my report card, threw it in the trash. I couldn't put my mama through that. And the next year, they told me if you pass all your classes, we'll bump you back up. So I passed my classes and got bumped back up. I graduated with my class because I couldn't put my mama through that. Thank y'all for tuning in. Consider what I'm saying and put it into practice. This is Jamil Saleebs of Manning, South Carolina.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to this month installment of the 19 Report. I am your host, Brother Johnny. I walked a thin line between right and wrong, took my fears to God, then I wrote this song. The spirit kept calling, so I answered the phone, and then I manned up and got some backbone. My mind resonates at a much higher tone, solid foundation, empire zone. 3 mountains, I'm in one, right to left counted, 9 and then 1, left to right switch it, 1 and then 9, west to east, south to north, a thin line. I know Christ exists, cause his mercy allows me a chance to stand 3 on a square. Yeah, we in there. This is Brother Johnny of Groove 19 Promotions.